We've had the first ball, four balls approach hoop 1 in this final between Aston Wade and Ewan Burridge. I am Stuart Smith, chosen because I'm a local boy.
Yeah.
Sat with Begonia here.
Yes, hello everybody.
So Aston had an approach with the blue that he overran ever so slightly. Ewan followed with an even longer red. Aston's black was nicely positioned along with the yellow, and
yeah, he tried to block the red one with the blue.
He
right?
did. He tried to,
but it didn't work.
No,
it's not too easy. It's a
so
risky shot.
It is. I mean, he's in a position now where he's got to decide whether he feels blue's runnable. I feel that was probably a fire at the yellow.
He doesn't have a choice. Yellow is certainly runnable.
Yes, yeah. It was quite wide, but it's always difficult the first shot of the game.
Of course.
It's a long clearance in. So Ewan to take hoop 1.
Okay.
Very, very smooth.
Smooth and nice, and it went run past hoop 2.
Yes, it's gone off the boundary, so it's giving Aston somewhere to hide. So waiting for the ball to come back on before he plays the ball in. Oh, he's opted to play because he knows where it's gone.
You can see it.
Yeah, so he's opted for the deeper position with the blue, just to keep himself as far away from that yellow as he can.
No. Did you see the red just pushed?
Yeah, it's just nudged the blue on. That's a clever ploy. Just that little bit closer to yellow now. So.
Yeah.
I mean, these.
Wow.
That's a great position shot. These two players have obviously played each other a lot and know each other's game inside out, and they're both very much on the power game. So they've got no qualms at all of putting balls in, because they know they've got the ability to clear, and they hit so hard. And as if to prove the point, he's just nailed that blue.
Yeah. Do you know between them usually who is?
It's, to be honest, it's pretty even between
it's
the
pretty
pair
even?
of them. Yes, yeah. Both got very, very similar styles. Ewan just hits just ever so slightly harder, but very, very similar in their ways.
Okay, so
that again, Aston, that's the second shot in success, and Aston's just not quite got his rhythm with his clearance early on, so Ewan's here to take advantage of that.
Well, to be honest, the first one was a very long one.
It was, and he missed it by quite a stretch, but that one was a little bit closer.
Yes, he had a hoop. It was open.
There's the difference with the players confident in their game. So whereas majority of us would have thought, not quite so sure I'm going to move the black here, because the black's almost a given runner. The confidence that Ewan shows is, I'm just going to go for the hoop. I don't mind giving you this hoop if it all goes wrong.
Okay, so that's 1-1.
Yeah, very confident.
1-1.
So that's the thing. I mean, I'm sure, Begonia, when you play, when you're in the swing and you feel that you're hitting central, sometimes you just ignore the fact that the player's got a ball in front of the hoop, and you just go for the hoop because you're so confident you're going to run it, confident you can hit.
Yes.
You're hitting well.
When you are confident, the other ball may even help you to aim better.
Yes.
So sometimes it's not too good to put a ball right in front of the hoop, because it gives the other person more reference.
Yes, yeah, almost gives them that line in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So these players both ooze confidence in their own game. So you'll find a lot of times they won't clear that ball sat in front of the hoop. If they can see the hoop, they'll go for it. I wish I had that much confidence to be able to play that way.
Well, in this type of tournament or championship, you have to have it.
You do.
Otherwise, you go nowhere.
And it also highlights as well sometimes. I mean, it's always the game of GC is developing now, where it's a lot of hard hitting.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
true. It's
so,
changing, right?
Yes, so any contact at all, you're likely to send your opponent to the boundary. Even a small, a quarter ball hit, the opponent's ball still disappears off the lawn. So again, Ewan put both of his balls in front of the hoop. Aston's cleared the first one. Ewan's. That's the sort of one where you try to still be able to see the hoop with the red, because you're tempting your opponent to clear yellow as the main danger and then running the hoop with the red anyway.
But he's going to go
But
in
again,
front.
these players know each other so well, he hasn't fallen for that little trick.
No, he's going to jump.
Okay, he trusts that Aston's probably going to move.
Yep.
Oh, great shot.
Yep.
He obviously trusted that Aston was going to move the yellow, so took the shot on. And again, just showing immense confidence in his game.
Now the problem is the two blue and yellow are behind the hoop,
Yes,
and red is not in a great position either.
No, so a good position here from Aston should command this hoop. And it's dropping in.
Oy, oy, oy.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's just overrun. I mean, like you say, with blue and yellow hampered behind the hoop and the backswing on the red, black had to be runnable.
Yes. Yes. He's going to jump again.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Good. Very
That's it
good.
again, yeah. I mean,
Very
especially
good
if
position.
whether blue's got a shot out, it's quite difficult to tell whether it's got a route past that red from here. But it may have to go a little wide. So we had two quite contrasting semi-finals, with Ewan and Stephen Mullen as being over very quickly. Ewan being 6-3 down in game 2 at one point to come back to win 7-6. He just found
Oh, really?
a group of shots back to back that just turned that game on its head. Whereas Jack and Aston was a little bit more hard fought.
Oh, another jump
And
shot.
Ewan again with another very solid, confident jump shot.
Can we say? I think Mulliner had a problem with his arm.
Muller has had a problem with his arm. I think he was trying to play with his grandchildren, if I remember the story being correct.
Really?
Not realising he's perhaps...
Doesn't make any
That's
difference
dangerous.
to my play.
Yes,
Not at all.
That
No.
is a dangerous activity.
it is.
Yes,
It is.
yes, he shouldn't be playing with his grandchildren before an European.
Especially not on rope swings. I mean, you know. Yeah, so again, Aston with a very comfortable clearance. Can't see where the ball's gone from this point, whether it left the boundary.
I can't see it either.
It's a centre ball.
See, that's
No.
another thing with Ewan's development in his game. Now, a lot of times it would have been a lot more thrashing and just clearing. He's now so controlled in his play. So that was a lovely little middle centre ball clearance, kept his ball close, giving Aston something to think about. You know, the big smack where both balls go off the lawn, and Aston's
Yes.
just got to put it back in, and leaving Ewan's then got to clear again from 12, 15 yards.
Yeah, that's a little bit what we saw in the under-21s. Was a lot of smashing around, but this control is a game that takes you, I think, further
Yes, yeah.
in the long run.
So Aston now looking to drive at yellow. Oh, great shot. Nice and clean.
Yeah, he's gone to a no casting style, and it's
Yes, I
no
did.
harm at all.
No, I did notice that in this. He's planting the mallet. His accuracy's always been there, but but that's a consistent thing. I don't know why he'd switched to that. I must have to have a chat with him and ask him why he switched to that. Because he used to cast before striking.
Yeah.
It's a more stable
He now
feeling.
plants.
You just feel that the mallet's got less likelihood to turn offline. And a lot of players, until the 90s, no one ever thought about casting. And Robert Fulford probably takes responsibility, or the blame, depending on your point of view, for being the first well-known player to try it. And then other people, I'm afraid I was one of them, copied it.
Yeah.
But I'm not at all convinced it actually helps accuracy. Anyone who's seen Edmund Fordyce play, who's a young New Zealander,
Yes.
he takes one half cast and then hits it, and he's done the whole thing, walking up to the ball, taking this little cast and then hitting it in about 5 seconds flat. He's the most wonderful player to watch.
Well, I was asked the question not too long ago about whether it was certainly from new starters and new players, whether it's best to cast or plant, and it's an answer you can't give, because the more I go through some of the top level players,
That was very soft.
there's almost a 50-50 split between those that cast and those that plant. Obviously, Reg Bamford plants and has been the world #1 for God knows how long. Rachel G, stunning player to watch, plants, and she's just got so much control of the ball. And Aston proven as well that planting doesn't stop you generating power either.
Well, the good thing about planting, I hadn't heard that term before, but it's a very good one, is that you can take the mallet back on the right line, and that is often a very good precursor to bringing it forward on the right line, and so getting what you want.
Yeah, because
If
he's
you're
now.
casting, you're obviously putting movement into it, and it can go all over the place.
Yes. Yeah. No.
But I had heard the theory that it gave you more power if you were casting.
Well, but Aston proves, as
But,
Stuart said, that you can get very adequate. And you saw Mark Avery, who's mainly an AC player, who is now playing some very good GC as well. Yeah, bounced a bit.
Yeah. it did.
He actually does a bit of casting, then puts the mallet down and plants, as you put it, and plays from there.
Yes.
Okay, so he does the
Because the casting,
casting
is aim,
to aim,
and then he
right?
likes the stability
Yeah.
of planting before he actually
Right.
takes the shot.
So
Very
that's-
nice and smoothly.
Yeah, that
he's
was
he's
nice.
going in. Yeah,
So that's 4-2 to Ewan now. So
yeah.
Ewan the advantage, 4-2 up at this point with the short clearance now. So Aston still perfectly happy to try and get nice and tight. I'd have perhaps been tempted to go a little bit deeper with that one, to be perfectly honest.
Really?
Yeah, just bring yourself away. So, one, getting yourself. I mean, he's nice in front of the hoop. That's fine, but the clearance is a lot easier for you. And
He's going to go
To
with
open it
his
up.
first one.
yeah, but he's got that chance of cutting, sending yellow
Yeah,
off the boundary
That's
straight.
what he's doing.
Yeah. So, if Aston had gone deeper at that point, that reduces that possibility.
Because he really managed his cut.
Yes. Yeah. Again.
Okay, so he comes back again. Oh, too much.
Yeah.
These positional errors, I sympathise.
Yes, a couple of Astons done. Aston had a very good chance at 4 of taking control of 4 with
But he got
balls
jumped,
tied.
didn't he?
But he did, but his initial ball down,
Yes.
Afterwards.
It was too,
Yeah.
too deep.
yeah, he
too
got,
long.
again,
Get the
just getting
impression
used
that
to.
Ian looks more.
I think also when you're very confident about your hooping, then a 4-yard position is just what you think is normal.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I get the impression Ian looks like he's more confident than Aston, because Aston keeps on trying to
Yeah, I
get
think
this
marginally.
very
Yeah.
very easy hoops. You see, he tries to go right in front.
Yeah, well, the thing is, these two are really good friends.
Yeah.
So there'll be a lot of rivalry in there, but it should be friendly rivalry.
Yes,
So,
of course.
but that sometimes can increase your nerves.
Inside.
I mean,
Yes.
as we said,
See
the
what I mean?
confidence, he's perfectly
Confidence.
happy. So that was saying, when him cutting that blue away, or black away, my apologies, put himself on the boundary, he's perfectly happy to run the hoop from there.
It's a great attribute.
Oh, if you can ooze that much confidence and you've got that much ability as well.
Yeah, because you have to have the ability.
Yeah, sometimes you can have confidence but no ability.
Yes, well then the confidence tends to wane a bit. In the light of cold, hard reality.
So that's 2 slightly offline positional shots there. I certainly wouldn't pull it past you and to have a pop with the yellow, to be perfectly honest. That's a much better positional shot from Aston. Could have done with one in a little bit close, but immediately Ewan's just going, I fancy the hoop again here.
You think so? That would be.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
he did.
Yep.
Yes.
So when Ewan's playing with his confidence, is unbelievably dangerous. There's very little you can do about it.
Had that work, it would have hurt a lot Aston's confidence. But
so what would we
is
do
blue
here?
runnable?
I think this is a Jaws attempt. He's just try and drop this in.
Yeah, it can easily be enough.
Not easy to jaw yourself.
It's-
Oh,
yeah,
bravo, that's
And
nice.
now
Yeah.
it's interesting because black, of course, can peel it, but black won't be left there to do that. And for you to try the jump, there's range and angle, and he's not trying that.
No.
No, he can clear with a yellow, right?
Yeah.
Unless he gets in his own way. No.
It's hard to tell from here just how much of that blue's sticking out the back.
It
but
is.
looks like half
It is.
ball. doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. It is sticking out. You
I
can
would
take it
expect
out.
blue to be level with the peg on the boundary.
Yeah. So Aston coming back in, obviously looking to go straight back in front of the hoop. Because Ewan can't run the hoop from here, but he can save the hoop from here.
Straight in front or a little bit past, so that when he gets cleared off.
There's a again, it's very difficult to tell from this angle. There's half a chance that if he gets this clearance right, it hits blue as well.
Oh, he wants to do 2 in 1.
It looks like he might be considering that as a possibility.
That's
I
risky
mean-
because it could stop blue one.
Yeah, it's sort of if he gets enough of the blue, it's probably unnecessary. But
Yes.
the danger
I,
is if
I
he
think it's unnecessary because
yeah,
it.
if blue stays close, blue can deal with red.
Oh, nope.
Okay.
First miss.
First miss of a very difficult shot.
Yeah,
It's hard to tell from this whether it passed behind or in front of the hoop.
yeah. Okay, so that makes 5-3.
Yep.
3 for Aston.
So how have you found the lawns here, Begonia?
Fantastic.
Yes.
Really, I really like them a lot. They are
Yeah.
very, very good lawns.
I'm very proud of them down here.
Yeah. And the place is so nice. You can see the sea from lawn 11.
Yes.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
club here. Yes.
It's definitely a pleasure to be part of the club.
And 11 lawns is something.
I mean-
For Spanish, it's fantastic. We can't even dream about that. We have a maximum of 4 lawns, so 11 seems to us, like
But you're-
paradise.
But your courts are gradually getting better and better, and there's more and more clubs having more lawns. So
Yeah.
definitely going in the right direction.
Yeah, we have very good lawns, but not enough. And we keep on having more and more players, so we need more lawns.
So with a good positional shot, and unfortunately Aston missed the clearance, leaving Ewan with a chance for 6-3.
There he goes.
Yes, that was a very controlled hoop. That
Yes.
was. Let's make sure of this one. 6-3
Yes.
is a really good position.
It's
to
the
be in.
first time that we've seen him.
Yes, he didn't try and
L-
attempt to get anywhere near
less
10. It was
confident.
just,
Yep.
I'm going to run the hoop. Obviously, it's nice if there's no hoop contact. He's probably going to wander beyond halfway, but it wasn't the usual smack.
What I have found is that the championship is hard. It's you need a lot of endurance. It's many hours.
Yes, yeah, they've been long days, up until
Very long day.
Yes.
A lot of play,
yes.
non-stop.
Well, there's players were still playing while the paella was served at half
Yes.
past 8 last night. They were still playing, so tournaments do go on. So Aston, I don't know whether he aimed for the deep position. I wouldn't have thought so. Tried to run it in, just dropped a little short, and then Ewan's positional shot is overrun.
It just goes to show that the bigger error is always to go too far.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Aston's still in front.
He's
whereas
going to
Ewan's
go
up
for the
there.
hoop.
Oh,
What
I
was
think
that?
you're right. I think that probably was hoop. That definitely looked like hoop. So
He
Aston
was
now.
trying to send a message.
So what do you think? I mean, Aston now has. There's not necessarily always the benefit of just running the hoop at this point. So he's obviously going to creep in and try and either push yellow hidden from. Push blue hidden from yellow.
Or
Or
just
black
hide
hidden from-
his black from
Yeah,
red.
He might be able to hide.
Oh no, he's trying what you've said.
Yeah, he did try to hide it.
But-
Yeah, I think he. Oh, I don't know. Well,
Yeah, it's hidden.
it was a nice little shot then. It's quite difficult to tell from this angle.
Comes down to hoop 11 shootout.
Yes.
Yes, again, nice control. That was well played. Two nice little shots
Yes,
there.
that was very well.
They
played,
seem
yes.
quite simple, but it just shows he's thinking.
Yeah, it's not so simple to get it
No.
hidden. Yeah.
That's good enough.
No, it's good
That's-
enough,
that's
it's good enough.
runnable. It's very, very difficult to tell from here whether. I mean, there's no point yellow moving blue, even if you could see it, but whether Aston's confident enough to put black in, thinking, I'm going to have a go at red. Which
That's
looks
what it looks,
Yeah, looks
yes.
like the shot. So
It looks
he's-
like that, yes.
Either that or Aston's convinced red doesn't run, but it looks runnable from here.
So if it doesn't run, he's got an easy shot, an easy jump.
Might have been an auto block.
You think so? He blocked him, the blue one
yeah,
from
it
the
looks like
red?
he may have blocked himself
Oh, that
on the
would
clearance.
That
To be perfectly honest, I think.
blocking
Yeah.
is a source of some anguish.
Oh yeah, look. It looks like the 3 on line.
Yeah, I think
right?
Ewan's added to that block as well, so this might be a little bit of sort of
Death or glory.
death or glory, yes.
It looks more like death, but
He may always gone for it. Looks like he might be trying to dribble in here. I mean, it was a it's hard for
oh, he wants to try to
yeah.
block.
Whoa.
Oh,
What an effort!
try to,
What an
yeah.
effort!
Wow.
I mean, there was an option for clearing yellow and hoping red wasn't runnable and giving a chance to fight.
Still
for the hoop
alive.
again. Oh, Ewan, not so sure. He'll be too tough for that. Aston to fire at yellow to keep in this.
Yes,
Great shot.
great shot. Yes,
Yeah.
it's incredible how the hoop has changed.
Yeah, I mean, Ewan may have intended on that as a shot, but I thought he'd have tried to keep red a little closer with that contact on the black. But again, he may not have had the angle to do so. It's very difficult to tell from here. So Ewan's just come straight back in.
Stop shot.
Yeah, Aston's got the quandary now of, do I punt yellow away and give Ewan what's likely to be a go at the hoop with the red, or do I try and block red on the hoop?
Sometimes you think, okay, I will let him have a go
But
because
this is the thing, this is why it's really difficult to
Have
play
to.
somebody with that much confidence in their shooting and in their hoop running, because you just sort of panic to think, well, if I give him any shot at the hoop, he's going to run it.
Yes, you've got to remember there's some same laws of probability as everybody else.
yes,
And when the pressure gets at its highest, then even the most confident swings can have their moments
Yeah.
and break down.
have to see what's less risky and good now.
too much about what yellow finishes because red's in control of the hoop.
Yes. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, it was nice controlled.
And
nice
he
controlled.
didn't go too far.
No, no.
So yeah. Now Ian is all around the hoop and Aston is
Yes.
further.
Yeah. Black's a long way away.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
He tried to tempt him.
Assuming that yellow will
Short.
inevitably clear blue.
Yeah.
A lot of players that would be a distinctly missable shot.
Yes.
I think he
Yeah.
tried to tempt him, right, with the blue one, putting it not too far from the red.
Yeah, he perhaps almost wanted them to clear the blue instead. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's possible.
But it didn't work because they know each other too well.
That's the thing. That's the thing. And again,
Ooh,
It's going past the top.
you or me would take the easy option of the clearance, whereas. Well, that was a surprise.
Did he miss that? Yes.
That was a surprise.
He missed it because he tried to hit it on the left so that it would go to the right.
Tried to cut it.
Yes,
Yeah, keep them so blue wasn't straight.
exactly. Well, I think from here.
No, you no. The side it missed on would suggest that was the case. Aston with the clearance on red now to.
Okay.
A long attempt hoop to come.
Yes, so he's got a long attempt. So again, the hoop's not given, but he's giving himself a shot, being 6-4 down. Blue's wandered towards 12. So
I mean, it's a high tower situation.
Yes.
If he could get this black, then he's looking good for 6-all.
yeah, that's a beautiful shot back in from
Yes,
Ewan.
yes. Do you think that
So-
he's... Yeah.
It looks like he may have changed his plan, so he may go back to clearing red. No.
He went
did
for a
go
hoop.
did go for the hoop.
Went for a hoop because he can see red with his blue.
The bonus of running that was massive with blue
Yeah.
where it ended up. So again, the positive side of their game. You know, he's quite comfortable with going for that. Whereas, like I say, I'd have just cleared the red and in a mass panic. Aston now has
Okay.
to fire at red because red's obviously
An
got the shot to
important-
the hoop to win it. Good shot.
Very important shot.
May have the block on the black as well. It's quite difficult to tell from here if we can switch to the.
Yes, because he's
down
not
the
even
line.
trying.
Wow, there's a great shot then.
It was, yes.
And again,
Oh.
when you get
Oh,
to
look, the angle of the black is not given.
no, it's definitely not a given. But it look from what we can see here, it does look a lot more given.
Yes. From the window, yes, but in
Yes.
the
Yeah.
screen, no.
No,
I think the screen is more accurate. Okay.
so Ewan has the option here of either turning around and blocking blue on red, but it looks like he's
Well, then
straight.
No,
that
it's
would be
jumping.
blue and black. Though.
He's gone straight for the option of jumping with the yellow.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah, he had the opportunity of getting close enough to shut them both off, but it's always a
Oh,
risky
he
shot
also
from
missed.
that distance. Yes, he did. Yeah,
Yeah. And what is going
He'll be
to...
fired up ready. Very rarely would he try and promote his own ball through. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought so anyway.
Yes.
Well,
Now the problem is you have him behind the hoop.
You do.
But far.
The peg might well be
An obstacle?
Yeah. Red's gone very straight down the hoop, down the court. You obviously can see something.
Oh,
15 missed, and it brings him.
a little bit of...
Yeah, brings
Life.
him. Yeah, brings
Yeah.
Aston back into it. I mean, a good controlled run through this hoop now, and these are always quite difficult to get the pace right coming out the other side of the hoop.
That's your. You don't
Look
want
how-
to leave it short.
No.
How this...
I reckon 3 yards north would be a good outcome.
Yes.
You can cope with a bit of lateral movement, the court, 70 one way or the other.
Just don't hit the peg.
Don't overhit.
This hoop, it was all because the red one was too far from the beginning, the position of the red.
That's pretty well spot on. Another yard would be even better, but
Oh,
here comes.
So 6-5 to Ewan.
I am trying to see the... On the other lawn, we have
the plate
Juan
final.
Ojeda playing the plate final against Team Joliffe. For the moment, it's 3-1 for Juan Ojeda. It's best of 3, I have to say it.
Oh, you feel free.
And I'm going to say it in Spanish too, if you don't mind.
No.
¿Qué tal? Aquí estamos viendo la final en Budleigh Salterton del Campeonato de Europa en 2025. En el campo de al lado está Juan Ojeda jugando la final de plata contra Team Joliffe y va ganando 3-1.
I think that's blocking black from running 12.
I think he may have to.
Wow.
Depends what we can get a mallet on blue, because obviously you can get rid of yellow.
Oh, he rather get rid of,
Yes,
of red,
yeah.
Yeah.
which was the danger, right?
Well, it's never easy to get the mallet on blue.
The
by the
difficulty there is
No.
I think a straight stop shot is going to keep yellow close and clear both the other two.
That's the problem because it looks like, oh no.
Ooh.
Well,
Ooh, ooh.
still a good shot.
Oh, so
Except
Yeah,
for-
again, it's hard to tell. Does black pass yellow? It's hard to tell whether black passes yellow from here.
Oh, look. Now we can see it better on the
Yes.
screen.
Still not sure.
No.
So us is debating whether to come in here or to have a fire at yellow.
4-1
Give
Juan.
yourself a little bit of a.
always come in with this question, do you go and he's gone the safe side. It's a fair chance of blocking himself if he
No, it's
Yeah, that would
distant enough.
that would suggest black ran then.
Oh, look. Okay.
looks as though yellow's got to be moved again.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Where did that yellow finish? Is it in boundary? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. And can it see
You
blue?
can, looks like you can see blue.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Look at
What a
that.
result. Absolutely sensible.
Incredible. That black one stopped.
So to nail the black and
And
centre
look at where
ball
the-
blue.
Look at the blue where it ended up.
Well, we'll give the benefit of the doubt that that's exactly what he meant.
Behind the hoop? Of course. Of course. Yes, certainly.
Example of croquet karma. I'm
That
afraid.
was
You-
unbelievable.
You just convinced me. Oh,
Yeah, that was.
Look
something.
at
He's
that.
making sure he gets south of the line just in case somehow
he misses.
he misses and then black can run. So it's
Yeah.
7-5.
So again,
Yeah.
just showing it's not. He didn't just give up completely. He thought about
Look at
gaining
that.
something out of it at least, potentially. That's a
Yes,
good
of course.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good finish.
so I think I'm going to let you write. I ask Richard Bilton to come here. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I don't know. I do as I'm told.
I think so. I think so. I'm going to ask Richard Bilton. and
Thank you very much. It was
so
a pleasure.
It was a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.
Adios.
So Begonia has left us now in between
Richard.
games. So we have Richard and Stephen with us now. That was a very fast game.
Well, Ewan plays a very direct game, so it's all very get on with it, and
Yeah, there's the most shots for a hoop was hoop 12. Everything was one or two shots, and then it was a hoop run. Again, that sort of directness, that positivity is just, I can't get my head around it. It will come to me one day.
Chatted to Ewan as he came off from the semi-final, having run hoop 13 from the boundary. He said, "It's lovely putting the ball on position on the boundary and knowing you're going to run it."
most of us don't know it.
I noticed when he hit that shot down to 13, he took no time whatsoever. He literally knew he was just blasting at the boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to do anything different.
Well,
No.
the way to give yourself the idea of what it was like, imagine all the hoops were suddenly made 1 foot wide, and suddenly you'd be confident that you'd be running them.
Mm. So, yeah, Ewan's got in his head that these are 1 foot wide hoops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think what is true is, and this is no criticism of any sort, the ground has got a degree of yieldingness to it, so the hoops are moving when the ball hits them at an angle
Yes.
and letting them through.
Yes.
What would be interesting would be to see how that approach would do at a place like United in Christchurch after 6 weeks of drought, when after a few balls had pinged off the hoop to the nearest boundary, your confidence in the wisdom of giving it a clatter might take a bit of a beating, and you'd become much more cautious.
Yeah.
And that used to happen on a cricket pitch at Hurlingham until they relayed everything in 1990. They'd set the hoops to 1/8. People still couldn't get through them. And you could see their confidence. It was always the doubles championship went
Yeah.
on there. People would become completely inept because it was this as they'd been put in company.
Yeah, we do have I mean, the courts here are fabulous, but there is some soft ground.
Yeah.
The hoops do work loose. So you have to do
Well,
have to
it's
keep
not even the
maintaining
hoops working
tidying
loose,
up.
it's the fact of what they're actually stuck in. If you take high-speed video of these things, the famous one done at Bowden in 2007, you see Ian Lyons playing an angled jump shot, and the hoop is doing this. You can't see it happening very, very fast, but it just means that there's flex in the ground as well.
Oh yes,
So
yeah.
the ground is literally, this impulse is sent by the ball into the upright. The upright then presses into the ground. If the ground is basically a rigid metal tube, the impulse will come straight back. The ball will still be there, so it'll be spat out. But if it's elastic or yielding, then the ground will allow the hoop upright to press into it for a bit. Only then will it respond and send it back, the impulse back again.
Wasn't that supposedly part of the idea with the Atkins quadways hoops, having square carrots to stop that a little bit? Or
I'm not sure it makes a huge difference. I think where they do, there are three things basically. One is the nature of the ground, as I've said.
yeah,
The physically harder that is, the more like concrete it is, the much more difficult it is. Secondly, you've got the nature of the hoop, and the quadways are stainless steel, and that makes them ever so slightly more resilient than cast iron. But in easy conditions, the difference doesn't really. I wouldn't call these easy, but they're not particularly demanding.
no. I think we did measure the lawn speed at somewhere between 10 and 10 and a half
Yeah,
seconds.
and some bits, I think they're quicker today.
Yes,
But nonetheless, I mean,
they were
just,
cut again this morning, I believe.
what sort of angled hoops could you run from 2 or 3 yards, and how far would the ball go? And the answer is that you could get it most of the way up to the next hoop.
So we've got the plate final, and we're just covering that during the gap at the moment in the main final.
Okay.
And Juan is 5-1 up on Tim Jolliffe at the moment.
Okay.
Are we live? All right.
Nice, we've got it on the screen. We've got it on our screen here as well now. Okay.
It's a rather deep red, I think.
So I played one at Roehampton in the Spanish Test match last year. He was such a pleasure to play with and play against. Very compact style.
Mm. Well,
He's taking his own ball out there.
Oh, that's
he was actually playing in the 90s and then gave up the game for 20 years or so and then made a very welcome return.
Is he only GC? Was he being AC?
I think he was AC. Everyone was AC in the early stages
In the
of
early
the 90s.
stages, yes.
But GC came in and took over, and it seems to appeal to the Spanish personality.
Yeah. Yeah. Is AC particularly big in Spain?
No, it's been completely overtaken by GC, and the number of players they have is extraordinary.
There's a rejection there from Tim.
Stayed in front.
But the Spanish are always an absolute pleasure to be around.
Oh yeah,
Just phenomenal people.
very hospitable.
Yes.
The most dangerous place in the world is Vista Hermosa in the night before an event because they have a massive party, and the temptation to get thoroughly overindulged is quite high.
I just love their attitude. Their sort of teamwork, and they sit and have lunch and they follow each other around, watching each other on the lawns, and they seem so together.
It's been obvious even from the chat where we've had a lot of interaction from Spanish viewers as well,
Yeah.
asking us for the scores on the. There was a battle yesterday with two Spanish players playing each other, and we were having to keep being updated on the chat because there was it obviously wasn't getting the live coverage because it wasn't on the show launch.
No.
But it demonstrates that sort of team and togetherness.
And the thing is as well with the Spanish Croquet Federation, they put a big fund into their players coming over and representing Spain as well. So, and they get money reduced or taken out of it if they don't complete a competition as well. So if they drop out early for whatever reason, they find themselves a little bit. Yeah, they're encouraged to complete, which is
I think they would anyway. They have that character.
They are. But it's good to see that they're being backed by their federation as well. Because if you think about it, a lot of the big tournaments we have are all here. I mean, even the Europeans are always in England because nowhere else has got the laws to cope.
No.
So we're privileged that they're willing to keep spending to come over and to compete.
And it has been held once in Spain, shared between Vista Hermosa and Pineda.
When was that, Stephen?
I'm trying to think.
Lovely clearance.
I had the pleasure of being manager, and the Spanish put on a coach to take the players. Everyone was basically accommodated in Puerto de Santa Maria, which is where Vista Hermosa club is. And so those who were due to play Pineda would be bussed out there in the fairly early morning. And it was a bit unfortunate, it became very hot and very humid, so I think I played in Pineda on, let's say, a Tuesday, and it was comparatively, temperate conditions. The following day it was an absolute heat wave, and the people came back exhausted. But so we had six courts active, 3 at Vista Hermosa, 3 at Pineda, and got the event finished. But it was long days.
Yeah. So how many courts did you play that over, did you say?
Sorry?
How many courts was that played over?
6. There
It
were
was 6, 3
at
each, 3 each venue.
Begonia was saying they just don't have clubs with 11 courts, or not yet.
No. No, every time I'm speaking to the Spanish, there's always another club opening up with extra lawns and.
I think the difficulty is that it's immediately fully populated by the locals.
Yes.
So I don't think there's as much sort of inter-club activity as we're used to here.
No, I was talking to a couple of Spanish competitors at the Sidmouth Championship that come over to play in it, and they'd come all the way over to England to play in it because they felt they could come over and get more competitive play against the English, because the Spanish don't have the same sort of formats of tournaments to be able to play against the higher standard players.
Yeah, although there's a good number of clubs that are quite sparse because it's so much larger as a country as well.
Yes, yeah.
A lot of distance between them.
Yes, yeah. So we are still competing Hoop 7 in the plate final.
Yeah.
The finalists in the main knockout are just coming back to Lawn 6.
There's yellow in the jaws.
Yeah, yellow in the jaws, right next to it.
So one's got a big clearance. Try and dislodge that from the back, or at least dislodge red. Just got to try and protect black, really. Sailed by it.
Looking at his body language, it was obviously not far away.
Alright, so we're back to court 6 with Aston starting off.
So they're going to compose themselves before we go again. Aston to play in. The thing with Lawn 6 is there's a slight swing.
There is, he's done that pretty well. He's got
He
a
did.
relatively straight hoop.
You just sort of swing in and then back out from the hoop.
Yeah. Now that may well get the two shots treatment. No, Ewan's content to. The principle really is if you think the opponent can get all the way up to hoop 2, you would be better off trying to clear it twice. If you need two shots, take them. But from what I can tell, he should be able. That looks pretty good to me. Maybe it's a little bit angled.
It's a little angled. I think getting down to hoop 2's not so easy.
Well, I think given the way the hoops are playing, I think it is possible. So he may be just trying to block this, I'm not sure. Well, he was the right distance for a block, but I don't think he's managed it. I think that's open too. Yeah, I think that
from
blue will run.
Yeah, looking out the window on the angle, it suggests blue does run.
This will be a big.
Just looks a little wider on the screen. Oh,
Good heavens above. Into almost on the same line, but now somewhat hampered by black. Oh, it's not. That is much more difficult, I would think. He's not to come over his own ball.
although that little, to consider that little dink jump might open the hoop up a little bit more. Because you may opt to little jump through the hoop from that angle.
Yeah.
And now I don't think he's got any choice but to play it.
He doesn't want to leave you in another jump from that range.
No. I mean, clearing red's the easy option here. Yes, left. It's come back out far enough and left the hoop open. Looks it.
That looks like it. It's got a hoop, you can see.
Yep.
And he's missed it.
I am
Looks
surprised.
appropriately astonished. Now, if black can block yellow with blue, that would seem to be the best option.
I don't know whether we can see whether black passes blue. I'm assuming it doesn't by the fact that Aston's looking in the opposite direction. see from here. I think black does sneak past the blue.
Yellow, you
But-
mean?
No, at the hoop. I think black can actually get to the
Oh yeah,
hoop.
black, I think, yes, but whether he really wants to do that.
No, I mean obviously the journey to 2 is much easier with the blue.
Yeah.
So he's opting for the block.
Not sure that was a good idea.
I think
He
he's
may have
tried-
opened
yeah.
it up. Well,
Got enough. I assume he was trying to just nudge red into the way.
yes, and he actually nudged it out of the
Was
way.
that the easier option than
No,
just using
I
black?
think I'd have just played black. I would have left red. Red, I think, was doing a sort of partial job. Um,
Just added to it with the black instead of trying to
yes,
use it.
rather than trying to do something. It doesn't take much for a little swirl in the ground for you to get the opposite effect, and that's, I think, what happened.
Yeah. Well, that's better. So,
I'm trying to think of a draws here.
yeah, Jaws is
Problem
off.
is,
Yeah, problem is it leaves Aston the jump from there. I mean, Aston's more than capable of that. If you get it wrong,
yeah,
it
I
leaves
wouldn't
him.
put him in quite the same league as you and yet. But the difficulty is if he doesn't get into the jaws, then black can just spank him away.
Yeah. He might be more
It
tempted
might just exactly to make blue's life.
to push blue
more
back. He might get the cut on it and keep red straight and at least widen the blue a little bit.
I'm not
Yeah.
seeing the score on that thing. Obviously the nothing's an empty. Yeah, I wasn't there saying
He likes the idea of the jaws. He's gone back to have another look.
Even trying the hoop, that looks very, very flat. Yeah.
I think he felt he couldn't afford to just push the blue to the boundary there. He'd have needed to make sure
Well, I
his
think
red
now,
left the low one.
where's yellow? Oh, it's a long distance away.
Yeah,
Then
it's a
black
long
just
way.
comes in front and blue clears red.
You know, I think he realised that as how the rotation was going to go, so tried to something a little bit more difficult. I mean, there's 2 options to. That's 3, I suppose, to fire at black or blue, or just try and drop in and protect the red from blue, which looks like the shot he's opted for. Just wandered on.
Yeah.
So Aston for big clearance on red. Whether he's going to opt for distance or try and hide him behind hoop 3. Just opted for
Pretty solid shot.
yes. I mean, whether blue's held on enough to put the block in.
No, I think red's gone quite a way north of that line.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with the scoreboard in a way. Still doesn't mean yeah. Still doesn't mean it's an easy shot. I mean, it's tight.
Good line. Oh, bad line.
So that was well played from Aston. He
Yeah.
managed that hoop well in the end. And got himself in a position where he should be able to get somewhere near hoop 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely control.
All the way up. It's It's not quite so
unfortunately, the
good
wrong
being on that
side,
side,
yeah.
exactly, because you can't hit anyone very far away.
So Ewan's opted for the slightly deeper position, being yellow. No time taken for the positional shots there, they all come in a very rapid succession. So Aston's options here would be to just put himself in front or take the danger of the red away. See if he can stay somewhere near. Yeah, well, you got the distance to get off the lawn as well, which is just leaves you in with a very confident.
Straightforward.
Didn't
through
even
the
think
hoop.
twice. Great hoop. Didn't even think twice. And that's the difficulty that Aston's got. He's just looking for that little clearance of red being the danger ball. But you improving it was the yellow that was the danger ball.
Tim Russell was saying very much the same, that he'd clear the sensible ball and then see the hoop big run from 8 yards anyway.
Yeah, yeah. That puts us 1-1.
Yes.
So after a little bit of a tactical battle at
well,
one.
it is very quick along there, but that was left badly short, and that does put him in a very difficult position.
As you were saying, Richard, you fancy this just going straight off the boundary?
Yeah.
Well, except blue is close enough to the line that can easily block. The 7-yard jump, even for a very confident player, is no gimme. That's going into
No, it's
a
just,
more traditional position.
yeah, no, it's just coincidence that Richard was saying he just seemed far straight off the back and thought,
It's just,
as long as I can get in front of the hoop, I'm fine.
I'm happy. Things you might try
That's-
on a club day and be happy with.
Yes, yeah.
Not the European Championship.
Yeah. Aston put a bit more than was necessary on that, and it's just over on the other side this time. But
That's
I think
the
it's
trouble
still
when you go
runnable.
very, very close to the level of the hoop, you've got very little margin for error.
Yes.
So very much advantage Ewan at this hoop now.
So we've gone back to the idea of just running in for a little block in front of the hoop. Obviously needs to really block red and yellow if he can. Obviously yellow would be the key because they'd want him to miss with the ball, the red with black being close rather than after black's been dispatched.
I think this would be the hoop or blue.
I think they would ball black, surely.
No, it was
No,
hoop.
it
You
was
could
the
see
hoop,
the
wasn't
hoop.
it?
And that must have been pretty central by the reaction of the ball. It's just
Yeah.
stuck. Perhaps a little bit unlucky that didn't squeeze its way through.
Can he block yellow on both?
Again, we've got the danger that he knows Ewan will jump it.
I mean, the other option is to snuggle up to yellow,
Yes. So
and the court surface is good enough to make that quite a reasonable option.
does blue run?
Well, if it did, I'm sure it would be doing it.
So let's tell where the blue passes. And red looks a little bit far out, a little bit this way to play off the red into the jaws. He's definitely looking at being either off the red or just dropping it straight into the jaws.
Mm.
That's unfortunate. But this is one of those where if Ewan gets the
Terrible
jump,
trouble.
is
Yes,
in
and
trouble.
you've
Is
got
he
Black's
really
now
is?
totally trapped.
He's in real trouble if this one's.
And Blue may not be very clever either.
No. Yeah, there he does.
It's got 2 hoops out in there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think we may see Aston consider promoting Black here. He might try a little dink
Or
over
just
the top.
freeing it. It may not be a question of promoting it, just getting it away from that hoop.
Yeah, does it look like it passes the hoop?
I think it's...
He's going to have to go wide if it does, I think. So
Almost going to run there, I think.
No, you just take that's another calamity. This is another way of getting 2 hoops when you don't actually get down there first.
yeah, lovely shot.
Ewan's touch looks pretty brilliant. That's very close indeed.
So this is an option to sort of stymie yellow, so it can't just clear blue away. It was a good effort from there.
Slightly on the wrong side, but never mind. It's gone.
It's got some distance on it.
The blue a long way away, and actually hasn't made it to the boundary, so it wasn't quite as well hit a shot as I thought. But nonetheless, it's a 14-yard, pretty important clearance. And misses.
Misses.
So you see a potential momentum shift.
Yeah, this puts Ewan very much in the box seat now. Ewan runs this. He should have relative control for the clearance at 5 as well now. So
Well, that's right. When people are shooting really well, then they like to run the corner hoop, be it 4 or 10, confident they can clear what's put in front of the middle hoop.
yeah. So however good this black that comes in is, Ewan will just follow it with a positional shot.
Yep. That's why a key shot is, can Aston get a decent block in?
He's coming from the. He's going to end up coming down a reasonable line to do so. Although Ewan's overrunning that might do the job for Aston.
That's clear.
He's just run past and very nearly did the job for him there. That's overhit as a
That's
block.
overhit, that's not blocking anything. No, that's gone well through.
Aston's just lost his rhythm a little bit at the moment. Oh, how to turn the corner. That was unfortunate. To rush peel it at that angle is incredible, but I'm sure Aston won't complain.
No. This could be.
So what should we believe was going to end up being likely to be 4-1, now comes back to 3-2. And Aston in control of 6. What a lovely little shot that was.
Yeah.
A lot more difficult than that looked.
Yeah, he's right in front.
Obviously Ewan felt that needed clearing straight away. And
I think he may have had a bit of a double with the hoop and the ball, but it just missed on the right.
yeah.
I watched the semi-final with Aston, and you were amazed if he missed the clearance. He was in such good rhythm, which is why that semi-final was so long, both going to 7-6, and both in great form. And but I think that quick start from Ewan, it's just thrown him off his rhythm a little bit. But he'll be Would be happy with where he is now.
I think it's looking like
So I went for the very controlled clearance that time, Ewan. The sound of disapproval came our way. Aston's gone through for 3-all.
quality.
And with red gone as far as it has, gives him half a chance of taking control of 7 as well. The advantage Ewan has at this point is Aston can't really clear his ball too far.
This will come down to a long hoop, which
Yes. So it looks like Aston's going straight for the clearance. Yes, good split as well. Again,
zero delay in
no
counter red.
no time taken whatsoever.
No delays.
It's overrun, so blue still got a hoop shot. Red just wandered on a little bit, which might mean Aston will just follow it in. It's a bit tight to try and find use the red to block the yellow on the black, but I don't think that's possible from the angle here, or not wise from the angle here.
How does that miss?
Now it's the opposite way around. Ewan's lost his little bit of rhythm, his sort of mojo with his clearances. 3 or 4 on the trot. And they are both very confident players as well. They talk to themselves a hell of a lot.
Suggest that one talks to themselves a little louder than the other one.
He does. He does.
That wasn't really quite what he had in mind.
But it's a level of passion that sometimes can be misunderstood.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
very passionate about his everything, really.
Yeah.
That's also a bit squiffy.
Yes. So Aston's asking him a few questions here, so he just keeps putting it back in.
Just make sure you go somewhere where the in-off is extremely unlikely. That's the one thing you should be doing.
Yes. I think that overran a little bit more than he intended, that one. So, again, there's no point in him having a fire with the yellow, so he'll leave the clearance to the red, so just come in with the yellow. That's just about, just hit the back of it, just started to curl a little bit towards the end of that shot. It was nipping between hoop and black for the majority of that journey, and just curled in. So Aston's just come deep using probably wide from yellow.
Well, he's assuming we're not going to stay around, so he might as well.
Yeah, I think it might be wide on yellow as well with the boot. So great, couple of misses with his clearances, and all of a sudden back into it, finds the middle again. So again, when we had very quick hoops flying through in 2 or 3 shots, we just started to tighten up a little bit, and a few more battles around the hoops.
Yeah.
Ooh, Tried to get in through the back.
Didn't really take a lot of care over that.
No, it was quite a very quick shot.
Aston displaying good patience because
So he just rolled in there knowing that you and Lisa come through the back of the hoop. And that was, again, lovely pace clearance from Ewan. And because of that, he's made Aston have to go for the jump now. If that red had cleared off the lawn somewhere else, Aston had just rolled in again. But such a controlled clearance, he's made him take the jump on. I mean, no massive danger because obviously yellow's not through the hoop yet. But and good that the rebound off the hoop put him where it did. With every chance he clip the hoop and end up wandering off behind it, or he obviously took so much of the hoop, he's come back and short side as well. So Ewan can't really put it too far. And because of that, Aston could afford to just come straight back in again. Yeah, so this has turned into a far more tactical battle than game one.
absolutely, yes. With both sides missing the odd opportunity.
Work out the shot choice here. Okay. Trying to sneak blue in, put blue on the line. Just trying to hide that behind the red, I believe.
Yep. And didn't quite get that.
No, I didn't quite run on. Seemed a little bit disappointed by that, perhaps because he didn't quite go as far as he thought it would, or he felt it should. Giving Aston a shot at this red. Which unfortunately he missed on the left hand side. So, this is what I was discussing with Begonia. The confident hoop runner now just walks up, puts it through the hoop and somewhere down towards 8.
Yeah.
Whereas those of us that are not quite so confident just punt black away and hope.
Stay close. Get another chance.
I think one would take this hoop on.
Yeah, you should. You should be taking the hoop on.
No.
Yeah, it's still the right shot. You always, afterwards, you always think, oh, perhaps I should, but it's the right shot. At this level, it's definitely the right shot. But I still would have been clearing the black. Aston now, after what looked like 4-1 down.
Chance for 4-3 up.
Chance for 4-3 up. A little bit of composure. You can see now it's just making them think that the pressure's a little bit higher than it was earlier on, certainly in game one. And you could tell by the last 2 hoop shots, it's just somebody's turned the gas on a little bit.
Yeah.
The pressure's gone up a touch. I think that's actually also bounced in a position where it's blocking blue's clearance on red as well. So, although black should have an easy run next time, I don't think he can get rid of red to give him that option. Yeah, it's a perfect line. Blue can't see red. So options here. Take the danger of the yellow away, or just bring yourself in, knowing that black's only at the boundary.
Or take the hoop on.
Or take the hoop on if you can certainly see the hoop by the looks of it. I think the hoop might be his only option. I think red and yellow in prime position here because they're both short side as well. Both their clearances will end up short side.
Mm.
This looks like hoop to me. Well, it just shows how quick things can turn. I was discussing it was going to end up being 4-3 because it was confident he was running that. Just shows how pressure can get to you.
And small margins.
And definitely small margins. So Ewan's just about squeezed himself into pole position for this hoop now. I don't think he'll, with red where it is, he would go for the hoop. He won't refuse a hoop shot from there. Yeah, that's a superb hoop. So again, just shows how quick croquet can change.
It's flipped twice in
Yeah,
a matter
yeah.
of 2 or 3 minutes.
In typical current style, though, the ball's gone right off the far boundary, giving Aston somewhere to hide. I'd never have understood that tactic.
That tactic of just running it and not worrying about it going.
Yeah, I mean, they always say, well, your opponents, when you're playing at that level, your opponents are that good, they're likely to hit you anyway, but not if you've got a hoop in the way.
Yeah.
So I never have quite understood that tactic. But it's much easier to run a hoop sort of carefree than trying to hold the
exactly,
pace.
trying to worry
So,
about the pace,
yeah.
I think the other thing is they'd rather be down there than just through and hampered or whatever.
Yeah, or the advantage is if they can see the ball, they've got all of this lawn to put it in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or court. I don't want to upset anybody. That was a... See where blue's coming from, to be honest. Okay. Let's see if I can see slightly better out the window. So Aston's gone straight back in front of the blue. Red to clear black.
Yep.
Can't tell whether yellow can see hoop. I think Aston's got a good positional shot there to shut the hoop off from yellow, but again, Aston likely to come back in here. But if he comes back in here, I kind of fancy Ewan to go for the jump here. And Aston was fearful of that, so dispatched yellow.
But unfortunately, yellow hit blue, so back to square one.
And Ewan coming went very, very deep, got himself well away from everything there. Just give Aston a nice chance to just drop a little block in front of the hoop, which is under here. And Ewan now gone short side for anything Aston puts in front.
That's done himself any favours. has it?
No, he's left this Ewan for hoop. Oh. again, no time taken. Just, I mean, again, there's a lot to be said for being able to make a decision what you're going to do that quick. Half of my downfall is I'm still not sure it's the right shot when I've hit it.
Overthinking.
Yeah, by the time I'm standing up, my third cast, and by my third choice of shot, that's just not helpful. Even a 2-yard hoop, I'm thinking twice.
Should I be going?
Should I be doing something else? Should I be trying for the duels? Aston feels he can get this in the jaws from there, or at least very tight. Oh, just come in and off again. So Ewan to smash the blue away, giving red a go at the hoop by the looks of this. So
Good contact
again, this
on
is
that.
very much turned again back in Ewan's favour. Again, so solid. And see how hard he hit that and how far the blue went. And the yellow didn't even get beyond halfway. Just shows how much of the middle he got.
Contact on it,
So a very, very important shot from Aston here. He knows Ewan's ability in front of the hoop, so he's got to go for it. Can't afford just to come in. Ooh, that had to be close. That looked very close.
yeah. A wistful look from Aston there.
Yeah.
Must have been close.
So it's a free go at the hoop here with black not in front. I kind of fancy Ewan to perhaps play this not full pace this time, because you don't want to bounce off and disappear. So this might not be quite, might be a lot more controlled a hoop than. Yeah.
And yes, I wonder about black, how much where it can get to.
Yes, it's hard to tell whether he's going to need to probably end up behind the hoop here. It's not going to make it, and it was heading behind, so perhaps he knew it was going behind, so he dropped it a little shorter.
Right, so that was another piece of bad luck. It's looking rather good for Ewan. He just goes deep as usual.
And that's the thing with Croquet, it just proves, you don't ever give up, because it's so quick it can flip.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so from 3-1 to you, and it looked like it was be 4-1 to you, and then it was 3-all, with Aston looking like he should go 4-3, and then all of a sudden it's 5-3 to you, and
Yeah.
Aston just trying to drop a little block shot in with a black here. So again, I think that may have left the door open for yellow.
Yep.
Again,
Yeah,
it's
we
just,
deliver.
yeah. Unfortunately, at the moment, Aston hasn't got anything to offer in return, which is a shame.
Well, when your opponent's running 7-yard hoops.
Without
Really?
thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's really difficult. And even that clipped the yellow. That was just, again, so unfortunate. And I don't think Black may have to go wide here as well. It's directly behind the hoop by the looks of it.
Even that's nudged you, hasn't it?
It's not.
When
It's
it's
just
not-
yeah. When it's
it's
not
not.
going your way,
Yeah.
it's not going your way. Again, you absolutely no thought whatsoever. Hope to win it.
We've been asked who on the chat who won the Euros last year. And
There it is. Jose Alvarez Salah won it last year. That was absolutely fantastic,
Wow.
Ewan. Absolute display of dominance in that game.
Well, it warmed up after the 7, didn't it?
After the 7, yeah, the first 6 hoops in that was very nip and tuck, and as we discussed, anybody could have taken the lead at 7, but then Ewan just sort of opened up and hit everything he aimed for and won every hoop he aimed for without a second thought.
Yeah.
But the answer to your question, it was Jose Alvarez Sala won
It was,
the
yeah.
Europeans last year. Yeah. First Spaniard to win it, if I believe correctly.
Yeah.
Well, that's absolutely
Well, Jose
fantastic.
Riva has won the European AC. Twice.
European AC, okay.
Yes, it's the first time for the GC.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks very much for your efforts in the commentary box for the final. What a final it was. Great display from Ewan.
Yeah, very impressive. Very impressive. Well, thank you very much, Stephen.
Yep, thank you, Stuart.
And thank you, Richard.
Magnificent commentary, guys.